Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. Welcome to another episode of 3 Points Perspective. This used to be a show which was just me, Nina, and Charlie. Now it's a show anyone can do. As long as you've got three people, there's three perspectives there on all the topics. Today we're going to be speaking about Todd Boehly and the Vivid Seats news that's come out. The January transfer window, a little review on that, as well as a Brighton preview. Usually it's a 45-minute show, but we are in a little bit of a rush today, so it's only going to be 30 minutes. So we're going to do 10 minutes on each topic. Lewis, how's it going, mate? How was the dentist? Did you go dentist or was it doctor?
No, doctors, like both ends in it. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But I'm good. I'm good. Should be better in a few days. Hopefully going to be fit for Brighton. And yeah, good to be up on the show. I think it's my first time on here. So yeah. Great to be on. Big up my guys. Big up.
Welcome.
I know. We've done quite a few of these ones, Nina. When was the last time we did 3 points? It would have been a couple of months.
Months ago, I think.
Was it last season?
Yeah,
we did one or two this year. One or two.
Yeah.
But not many more than that, to be fair. But I always like this. I think it's a nice one because sometimes when you've got the live streams that are about an hour or blue balls, which is even longer, but you've got more people, that's a good one. But this is a little bit shorter. It's pre-recorded as well. So I don't know. I personally prefer pre-recorded shows, but it's each to their own.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll get straight into it. I mean, let's start. Well, I don't know. Do you both presumably know about this?
I've literally just been reading.
Oh, you've just been reading it. So give you an idea. For those of you who don't know about Vivid Seats, Todd Boehly is heavily involved in Vivid Seats. It's an unauthorized site that resells tickets to foreign tourists. And this is according to Ben Rusby of the London Telegraph. It's a secondary marketplace. So Boehly's an investor and a director. So it doesn't allow UK-based fans to buy or sell tickets, a practice which would be illegal. However, it does permit foreign-based users to tout tickets for up to tens of thousands of pounds, on which it charges 10% commission and a service fee reported to run from 20 to 40% of the original ticket prices.
Is that on top of the ticket when you buy it?
Yes, that would be an extra service fee. Yes. So that raises the prospect of Boehly basically practicing, profiting from his own club, which the club have repeatedly denounced anyway. So it's very hypocritical considering the club have imposed huge sanctions for fans that do this, as they should. I don't think it's a good thing to tout, but it's a case of practice what you preach. And it seems like we've been caught out a little bit here. And how did this not come to light earlier on? I mean, I'll start with you, Lewis.
I think it's just like because it wasn't anything new that he made. From what I've been reading, this has been around for a good couple years before he even took over the club. Apparently, it's a third-party website where I'm guessing like anybody can put their tickets on, or is it like one where he's specifically putting tickets that he's left out from the bridge to put into the website?
Oh, what? So you're asking if the tickets are being taken away from members and season ticket holders? Is that what you're?
Yeah, or is it like members and season ticket holders are placing their own tickets on there? Because the one thing I noticed, right, was there's a lot of clubs that have tickets in there. Like West Ham's there's Man City, there's Man United, there's Liverpool, there's Arsenal. Mm-hmm. So is it a case where a lot of those owners are like just holding off on certain percentages of tickets, like 1-2%, because that's still like a couple hundred, and they're just putting it on there? Or is it a case of like other people are just putting their tickets that they've paid for in and trying to get over face value on that?
I think this goes beyond fans placing their own tickets on this site. This is the club. So that's where
the Chelsea thing then. Oh, bro.
Yes, this is directly from the club. A third party is obviously selling these tickets. I would presume the club get a commission of sort, and it's a double commission if you're Boehly because you're getting paid from both sides anyway. And that's where the conflict comes. It's a clear conflict of interest. You can appreciate that.
It's a conflict of morals too, because one thing I'm reading as well is that it's a lot more normal in America to do the whole reselling thing, as opposed to over here. Over here, it's more like, oh, you can't really price out the modern day fan and all of that. You got to do face value. And I got no issues with that either. Everyone knows, like, if I can't make a game, it's always face value and it's never anything more or less than that. But I'm guessing maybe it's just a difference in values, if anything.
Yeah, this reminds me of, do you guys remember there was a game, it was like last year, I think it was still this season, and it was before a home game, and I think it came out that there was like 4,000 tickets that were still up for sale, and they were being sold to like fans in America, I think. Do you guys remember that?
Which game?
I can't remember which game it was. It was a home game though, and like 4,000 is like 10% of our stadium. Do you know what I mean? It's quite a big number, and considering like sometimes you look around and you see like empty seats. Like Chelsea's one of those like clubs that people do want to go to. It's not one of those where like, oh, there will be empty seats. Like it's tough to get tickets. Like, you know, we're quite lucky to be able to go, but to have 4,000 tickets out there and like, do you know what I mean? For sale there is quite ignorant to people here, or like to members and season ticket holders, or members, actually more members than anything else, because I mean the whole system now with like loyalty points is just crazy, and it's, you know, tougher than ever to get them. So to see like 4,000 tickets up for sale 3 days before a home game is quite alarming. So I don't know if it's got something still to do with it, but I like just you guys discussing it made me think back to that. And it could be quite relevant to this, but yeah, it's a bit weird, a bit sus.
I think it's a disgrace, to be honest with you. It doesn't change my stance on the ownership in terms of, you know, if someone said, would you prefer Boehly over Barley? I still think that I'd rather have Boehly involved in the club, because he's shown that even bringing prices up for fans, and you would argue pricing fans out, which is exactly what Clearlake would do anyway. He's shown that he can still be successful. And that is where you can never justify it. Again, it's like you said, Lewis, it's a moral thing. But if the club is being successful, if we were still in the title race, for example, do you really think this article would come out? I don't know.
Yes, but I think the outrage would probably still be there, but just not to the same amount. Like, well, we've said this for the last couple of years and stuff. Like, everything around the club gets microanalyzed when the team just isn't performing. Everyone's going to look at every little inside nook and cranny about the club to try and find everything that isn't going right, to try and like figure out how to get the best out of the club. If we're doing well, we're winning. No one really cares as much. It's as simple as that.
I mean, that's how I would feel. I mean, I would be less angry if there was success. You can justify upping ticket prices if your teams are successful. That's why I would never understand why Man City fans complain. Fuck are you talking about? You won 4 Premier Leagues in a row, and you're complaining about the prices going up. You buy the best, you got to pay the most. It's only fair, right? Not that it's a good thing, but you can understand it. And inflation is real. Clubs have to deal with it as well. But again, there's trying to even out your costs, bring revenue in for the club that's sustainable, but you've got to find that middle ground for fans.
But even then, this isn't for the club. Like, this is just a personal thing, or like, I don't know, some sort of side venture for him, which is like, doesn't have to really for billionaires needed side hustles, but here we are.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like a lot of money, does it? But you know, it would pull the question: why did the Premier League not pull this up when Boehly was, involved in a takeover of the club? Because it does seem like a conflict of interest, and he was involved in this when he bought the club, so it's not brand new. But yeah, I mean, my stance on it is that it needs to be addressed. Whether it will be is another story, but I don't think it paints the ownership in a positive light whatsoever. What do you think, Nina?
No, I mean, it's not a great look. Like, I feel like I don't know enough to really comment, but like Lewis said, it just doesn't really make sense to be trying to make a profit like that off the back of your own club, because it also, undermines the kind of true support thing, like the loyalty to the club that fans have and like want to get face value tickets, or are not able to get tickets because they're being sold on sites like these as well for like ridiculously much more money. And I just think that it really undermines the loyalty of a fan to the club, especially people that have been trying to get tickets, people that consistently try to get tickets. So if it's true, it's a shame, and it's not a great look, is it?
No, not a great look at all. So not the most positive start, guys, but well, I don't think it's a particularly positive subject we're moving on to now. If I was to ask you two, scale of 1 to 10, 10 being absolutely fantastic, it was great, 1 being worst transfer window I've ever seen, where do you rank this January window?
I'd say
2.
5.
It's been bad, but I've seen worse windows.
Yeah,
like we've had some terrible summer windows in the Roman era, and that's not even me trying to do Roman era versus Clear Lake era because we know which one's winning. But like we've seen some terrible windows. This ain't at that point as much as it's annoyed me, but it's still not great, and I don't have any positives to say about it.
No. But it seems like Maresca's happy about it, based on what you're saying to the press. I mean, is this some sort of...
Because he hasn't got any targets, even though apparently we need top 4 for front of shirt sponsors, for the Jordan deal, and also for our Nike deal to not get split in half. But we don't have targets because that's what the sporting directors have told him to say that. Yeah.
What's that, Nina?
I said we're ahead of schedule, so of course he's not going to be complaining, is he? We're right on schedule. So, whatever business we need to do, it'll be done in summer, right? No need to do it now. But yeah, no, like reason I say 5 is just I'm purely looking at the loans that we've made out, like loans out, because I've kind of come up with this theory recently, which I think some of the loans out for the certain players that have gone out on loan make sense for them as footballers and the clubs they've gone to, like Carney to Borussia Dortmund. I think that will make sense because you'll play like Joao Felix. That's a messed up one in my opinion, but he scored. Did you guys see he scored on his debut for AC Milan?
Oh, it's just typical, isn't it?
It's typical, isn't it?
I won't lie, Serie A might suit him, man. They don't press at all.
Yeah, true. He's going to reunite with some familiar faces.
Be at 50%. It's easy. Like,
yeah,
might end up staying there.
Yeah, but just like even some of the other players, like let's be real, none of these players were going to be playing at Chelsea regularly. They might actually get regular minutes out on their loans and potentially their value goes up a little bit. So from that side of things, there's still like, months of football to play till the summer. And then maybe we have some more money going into that window and we actually address everything that we've ignored for the last 2 years. Maybe, but that's a big maybe, isn't it?
I mean, when you look at the business we've done, it doesn't look like it's been painted as if it's footballing decisions, but none of it. I can't think of a single decision that is driven by wanting success and wanting to be better right now.
That's the thing, it's not present day thinking. Like, this is what I keep saying, like every transfer window we've really had has been one for the future. Like, I mean, how many signings have we made where you look at a player and you think, yeah, they're coming in and immediately making an impact? Like, every signing we've made has taken time to settle in. Like, every signing we've made has been literally one for the future because of the amount of years they have signed for to be here with us. And it's all potential, but like not once did we say, you know what, we're going to bring in this player because they're experienced and they've won trophies and they can come in and insert some leadership into this team right now. And then, we go and win a trophy. We go and get top 4 this season. And it's just all for the future. And that's just my biggest problem with the windows. Like, there's nothing present day to it, right?
It's not even just about recruitment. It's the players that we got rid of and then somehow tried to justify that it's good for the club. All right, fair enough. I don't even think Disasi was a terrible decision to get rid of him. But you turned down a £6 million loan fee only to accept a £5 million loan fee later down the line. You get rid of Vega.
We're not going to sell to loan to a UCL rival and then loan it to them.
But then we are.
We've got no backbone, no backbone whatsoever. And then you look at
man are just liars. That's
data.
what I've learned a lot about this window. Not this window, this season. Everyone's just liars. All of them.
I can't trust anything that I'm hearing at the moment. And even when we look at the business perspective, it's pennies. I mean, we're not talking about big money. When we sold all those players, Havertz, Mount, that was impressive. I'll give them that. That was good business and fair play. We kept our
reputation. These men are still living off that. They think they can get 65, 70 for Nkunku. Are you tapped? Big up Nkunku. He's still better than Havertz ever has been for us. But I mean, you're not getting that money. You're not. How has he come to Chelsea and his price tag's gone up? At least with Havertz, somehow the price tag went down with 65 million. Says more about us in the first transfer. But Nkunku, that's not going up. Felix, that's not going up. So
no. It's wild, especially in Nkunku. Like Lewis is right. Like this player has barely had a glance in. He's been considered a Conference League player, a super sub for Jackson in the last 20 minutes of every game. He's, consistently not even considered to be someone that can even, become a first teamer. So yeah, like how has his value, like how can you possibly expect that his value has gone up just because you've kept him here at the club and he's been, he's now got a season to his name, 2 seasons to his name, even though he was injured as well when he came in. Like it's just a bit ridiculous. Like the things that don't make sense to me, it's like, okay, I'm not the brightest, but some of these things are so obvious to like a fan. So it's like, are there other reasons? Like what are the other like kind of justifications and footballing reasons for some of these decisions?
Yeah, I would rank this January window as one of the worst. So I would go. I'd say honestly, it's a 1 out of 10. I think it's the worst one I can remember. I really do. And I'll tell you why, because it's also circumstantial. If you had a bad window under Roman, fair enough. You won the league the year before. You won the Champions League. All right, it's not the worst thing in the world. Maybe you might drop out of the title race, you still get Champions League football, you'll still pick up a cup. The fact that we have fumbled so hard in this market, we could cost ourselves not just Champions League now, but it's the knock-on effect of not getting Champions League football for 3 years in a row. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And once you're out of the competition for a sustained period of time, we've seen it with Tottenham, we've seen it with Arsenal, we're currently seeing it with Man United. You cannot get back in that competition without doing some seriously good business. And you also have to count on the teams around you not to perform. And you've got Man City spending over 200 million. You've got Aston Villa bringing in the big boys. Yeah, people say Rashford's out of form. I'm sure he'll probably do all right at Villa just because he's going to be rejuvenated. Marcus Asensio, all these players.
And that's ambitious from them because they're literally still in the Champions League. Like they're battling it out for top 4. Like that is ambition because they don't want any of these things to slip away. Like when results have gone south for them, they've looked at this window and they've said, no, there's still things that we need to see out and that are potentially vulnerable for us right now. So we're going to go be ambitious in the middle of the season. Duran's gone. Duran's someone that has been adding to their goal tally. So they've gone and replaced as much as they can. That's ambition. Otherwise, they could have just said, "Oh, we'll be all right. Continue on till summer. Worry about it then." But no, like there's things that they want to achieve and they see it worthwhile to make the additions now. So yeah, we are like feet on the ground.
But yeah,
we're talking about building just for this season.
No, but Lewis, hang on a second, mate. We're building the foundations for the summer.
But here's the thing, when I say building foundation for the summer, what summer? We don't have a break. We're going straight into a Club World Cup and straight into a new season after that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm thinking, why are we torching our midfield depth like this? We still don't have a second striker.
That's why.
And we have a Club World Cup coming up. You're telling me I'm going to the Club World Cup with my striker options being Jackson and Hiu? Really? Am I going to have Andre Santos back for the Club World Cup or not? Esteval's could potentially be an opponent.
Really? I thought Esteval was able to come back.
I swear his team's in the Club World Cup.
They are.
Am I bugging?
Yeah, no, they are.
I actually don't know.
I wonder when his contract starts, though. If his contract starts before that date, then Maybe there's a chance he can.
No, because it starts in the 15th of June, innit?
I'm not sure. To be fair, it's a good point. Let us know when you find out. But yeah, I mean, it's just not looking great, is it? It's not a good time. If you're a fan who likes the here he goes from Fabrizio, yeah, they are in the club book. But is he going to play? That's the question. Well, let us know in the comments, guys. Maybe you know. But yeah, it doesn't look great. If you like hearing a here he go from Fabrizio, you've heard it a few times, but none of it has been, oh wow, we're moving in a good direction. This is going to move us forward. We've down tools. And Maresca now has a harder job to do. He has less options coming off the bench, irrespective of how you think he treated players like Vega and Felix.
They were still bench options. There were still bench options. Now I look at the bench and I just think, man, I hope that these first teamers just can be robots till the end of the season because, you know, God forbid any of them get injured now. Like, we came into the season being the team with like the most depth, one of the teams with the most depth, you know, cracking jokes about A teams, B teams, C teams. Now it's just like a kind of an A team with a few options there from the B team that can come on maybe in a Premier League game and give you the same quality, maybe not.
We got to try and go through that all the way up until August.
That's wild. And that is believing that everyone stays fit as well.
Yeah. I mean, we've got Brighton on Saturday. Are you going to that game, Lewis?
Yeah, I'll be there.
You are. I haven't seen you at an away day, and I saw you at City, to be fair. But apart from that,
I think Tottenham was the last one before.
God, what's bringing you to Brighton then?
Yeah, it's Saturday, 8 p.m. It's a cup game. Good night out after. There's enough things that have like combined in the right way. So I thought, you know what, it's worth it.
Fair play to you, man. Fair play. Are you going out with Matt?
If Matt stays out, yes. If not, I'll be out with Lil Alex.
I'm with you, man. That's cool, man. Now here's something that could happen. Sanchez is now our cup keeper, I would think. Is there a possibility he plays in this game because it's a cup game? Or are we overstretching a little bit here?
No,
I don't know. I don't know whether I'd want him to or not. If Jorgensen plays, part of me is going to be worried it's just back to normal and he's the cup keeper. If Sanchez plays, I'm just not going to be happy because I have to see that idiot on the pitch again.
But don't you think it makes sense that Jorgensen plays though? Like, even because for him, I just see it as okay. Sanchez was dropped for Jorgensen. He kind of gets like a warm-up game for the FA Cup game. If he plays well, he gets a Premier League game. I don't know. At least that's what I want to believe. At least, you know, if he does well against Brighton in the FA Cup, he maybe gets to start against them in the league as well. But like, you don't chop and change a keeper that much. You guys know what I mean? Otherwise, it's like, I don't know, guys. I kind of have PTSD now that you've said that, but surely not.
I don't think it could be that silly. I said after City, if
I don't know,
man.
Sanchez, like this guy's falling to all sorts of pressure from above him. Like it's taking him this long just to drop Sanchez.
Lewis, they paid for Jorgensen as well.
Why is Sanchez the most protected player in our squad?
But I do think that is to do with Maresca, if I'm honest with you. I don't think that's just.
I think it's more of a Ben Roberts thing.
Okay.
Ben Roberts and Winstanley. We've seen enough articles of both Ben Roberts and Sanchez crying about each other. They're in love. They're basically in love with each other. Sanchez is crying when he hears Ben Roberts is moving to Chelsea. Or boo-hoo, I'm losing my goalkeeper, coach. Ben Roberts is crying when Sanchez is a part of the Euro 2020 squad. It's like they fancy each other. That's what the problem is, and this guy's the head of goalkeeping. The only reason why he got dropped last season was because Sanchez got injured, Petrovic got into form, and Poch weren't doing the yes man shit. So I was like, cool, you know what? Petrovic's been the better keeper. Petrovic plays for me. When Maresca's ready to drop his balls and do that, cool. I look forward to that moment, but I don't know if that's come yet. Part of me feels like he's been dropped significantly, just fan pressure. Everyone's just had enough of Sanchez after the City game. To a point where if he had started and played any part of getting 3 points, the bridge is going to go crazy.
Yeah, Definitely. And also, you don't rest the keeper. Do you know what I mean? Like, he justified it as resting a keeper for a Premier League game. Like, firstly, you don't do that. Off. Yeah, exactly. And you don't rest the keeper in a Premier League game who's been playing all season. Like, there's obviously other reasons, but why I don't know.
That's what we went back to saying earlier. They're all just lying. They're all just lying. Anything to make themselves look good at this point.
It used to be that we would be critical of decisions from up above or in terms of the manager. And within 6 months, there would be a change. Someone's sacked, someone's been brought in, the problem has been solved. And then we keep digging deeper holes for ourselves because we know what the problems are that we need to address. And yet we look at other things. We needed a striker and we needed depth in other areas. And we're looking at Garnacho and these other players. And I don't really understand it myself. Me personally, though, I would be very intrigued to see if we take this game seriously. Is Maresca going to do anything like he done in the Carabao Cup against Newcastle and basically throw away the tie just to focus on Premier League football? Or are we looking at this game and genuinely thinking ahead about winning a trophy? I mean, Nina, do you think that we can go all the way? Or is this the end of our good cup runs? Are we now just a team that are happy to get top 4 and collect that Champions League money?
I like to believe that if in a low season we got to a final and a semi-final at Wembley, then we can do it in a better season. So I want to say yeah, but Maresca should be absolutely taking this game seriously. I don't know about you guys, but I do care about the FA Cup. Like, I do want us to go far in it. And I think that it's about time that we, get to a final that we actually win at Wembley. And also, I think that he should learn from his mistakes of the Carabao Cup, because that game, we all said that was probably the first time that we actually looked at Maresca and said, okay, well, what was that all about? And we kind of started asking some questions. And if he does anything, remotely similar to that, then I'm not going to be happy. And I think that will really make people kind of question it. You can't afford to not take this seriously as well. And I think that we should absolutely be taking every game. We're not in Champions League football. Any other year we'd still be taking it seriously. We still should be. And to not do it now, it would just be beyond me. Like, it wouldn't sit right. So we absolutely need to win this game.
Go on, Liz.
See, I don't think we're going to do something like the Newcastle game. I think Maresca's learned from that. It was very naive from him to go up there with a bench like that. And we got punished for it. I don't think we've seen something like that since. Right? We usually seem to have a stronger bench just in case now. And I think that will be the case again for this game. Now, it's just about who we start and like the sort of team that we set up from the off. Because my bigger question is, like, what midfield are we going to do? Like, it's Caicedo, Enzo, and then who's really the options? Like, Dewsbury Hall, I expect will go back into the lineup. But there's not really... Is there anyone experienced with him? Amugu can't be starting this early.
No.
So it have to be Dewsbury Hall and one of the two. Yeah. I'd assume Caicedo.
It wouldn't surprise me if he started Fernandes and Caicedo again. If he was taking this cup seriously, it wouldn't surprise me at all. And then see Dewsbury all coming off the bench. But then it's just all about injuries, which is the same thing we had in January, December. We knew if we had injuries, we were going to struggle. We knew if we kept our players fit, though, we were going to be fine. But it's a toss of a coin. And that's the problem. You don't want to gamble. Set yourself up. Give yourself the best chance of being able to maintain these runs. And now I think we're an injury away from a crisis. I mean, we'll just finish off, guys. What's your score predictions for the Brighton game? I'm going to say if Sanchez starts this game, Chelsea will win, but we will win in extra time or penalties. So I'll go maybe a 1-1 or a 2-2. Chelsea winning in extra time or penalties. If Jorgensen plays, then Chelsea will win, maybe even with a clean sheet as well.
I'm going 3-1. There'll always be something dumb at the back that leads to a goal. That's just been Chelsea's motto this season, but we should have enough to win.
I don't think we keep a clean sheet either. I want to say 2-1. Like last year at the start, going away was, filled us with confidence, but I'm not sure. Also, like, how ironic is it? We played Newcastle in the league at the weekends and then went to lose to them in the cup, and obviously playing Brighton now, then play them in the league shortly after. So hopefully history doesn't repeat itself in the same way. But yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea.
Perfect, guys. Well, listen, guys, thank you so much if you've been watching for the whole video. Really appreciate your time. Check out Lewis's channel, check out Nina's channel as well. The links will be in the description. And we will be doing this show. This will be a weekly show. Usually it'll be 45 minutes though, so next time it will be a little bit longer, but we are in a bit of a rush. But listen, always trying to get that content out irrespective. Big up to you, Lewis. Nina, thank you so much for coming on, and we will be back very